Hello everyone, welcome to IndieVoice, here to bring more indie game goodness to your day. Now we're looking at a different type of game this time from a very colorful and wonderful world of Rainbow Billy and the Curse of the Leviathan. Now this game deeply reminds me of Cuphead in a way, especially with the feels like bend and stretch type of styles. This game is definitely something that is completely interesting on how its mechanics. It's kind of a monster tamer type of game, or at least along the lines of that, but using more of friendship mechanics. For the main key plot story of this entire game, the world has had all of its color removed by this ancient Leviathan that was resting in his area when Billy's island was having such a colorful and wonderful party that this thing did not like all of that color and rainbow effects and fireworks going off, so the Leviathan decides to remove all of the color from the entire world, showing that no one can mess with him or wake him up. Now, Rainbow Billy tells a universal coming-of-age story about dealing with the changes in the world, accepting ourselves and those around us. Sometimes it only takes a conversation and a little empathy and a new point of view to make a world a different place. You as the viewers are reacting to a 90s kid era filled game, taking them on a ride down memory lane thanks to the hidden game items, wacky dialogue, several other silly voice sound effects. Adding to your own voiceover while you're playing is highly encouraged, and the soundtrack is surprisingly very nostalgic. Now, my personal gameplay, as you see here in the background, that this game is definitely taking what it's doing, which is giving that whole 90s feel of with the different views on how everybody else is, or using just a little bit of conversation to talk to more allies and friends along the way. Then you can show that the world is entirely different instead of what you normally think, which is could be negative, could be just all awful, but with just one person, everything can change. And that's what Rainbow Billy does. Rainbow Billy is the one thing that can easily change a situation from a negative to a positive by understanding those characters that he meets along the way, by talking to them, showing them kindness, empathy, understanding on how they feel, and showing a new point of view on their lives while inspiring them to help him along with his adventure to bring color back into the world. This game touches a lot of self-doubts and a lot of other situations when dealing with being able to make friends, even who we are. Sometimes these feelings can go as far as a mental and emotional health alike. This game is definitely something that reaches deep down into mostly anybody around the world, because everybody has experienced this entire situation all the time, every time, especially when you're first making friends or, trying to figure out who you are. Now, the pros and cons for Rainbow Billy and the Curse of the Leviathan. The pros are that this is hitting a lot of areas in people's thoughts and minds about playing this game, especially when you're using empathy, kindness, and acceptance. Connecting to the actual gamer while playing throughout this game and understanding the side characters, even the characters that come along your journey. Followed by the fact that this game is really colorful, brings a whole 90s cartoon feel, maybe a little bit even earlier than that, but it definitely has that little bend and stretch type of cartoon, like Cuphead, but just this is more of we're going to be reaching into you as the player, which a lot of games, or if any games, do this type of motion, especially with how this game is hitting a lot of areas that I'm pretty sure most people can agree on are something that, even though it takes a lot of time, but finding the right people, you can easily overcome the challenges that you have to deal with mentally and physically. Now, the cons about this game, honestly, I don't see many cons in this game. I mean, besides the fact it takes a while to go through the story, but then again, that's not really a con. It's more of like a positive than anything else. Having to go through the story, even though if it's slow or something, doesn't mean that's a bad thing. This is a game where you actually should take your time and actually listening to your allies or friends' stories to give them the right positive or emotional action. So really, there are no cons for this game. This is kind of a really positive game, a really good one. To end it here at this point, this game is definitely something that brings the norm, or at least the different, about most indie games these days, because this game is hitting a lot of mental type emotions that people have dealt with throughout their lives at time to time. Depends on the person, but this game is really, really magical, especially on how the team and the developers put a lot of work into this game. So the verdict I give for Billy and the Curse Curse of the Leviathan is a definite must buy. It is worth the time. It is amazing how this game hits so many emotional areas or mental health areas. But thank you for liking, commenting, and if you are interested in more games that I review on this channel and want to help me reach the goal of 500 subscribers, subscribe and share with family and friends.